Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, and we'll get started. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. But first, I want to thank all of y'all for those compliments on yesterday's show. It was a special show, and it's like the only time we've ever done it. Well over 1,000 shows where we spent so much time on just one situation, and it was just heartwarming. And like I tell people, this show is about real people doing real things. So I appreciate those compliments. Let's go ahead and move on to the weather. High today is going to be 58 degrees, low tonight 39. Water temperature dropped one more degree now, 62. So that's the coldest it's been since last March, early last March. So it's still dropping a little bit. Our river readings, Apalachicola, they're looking in good shape. If you're going to be on the river this weekend, it'll be an excellent time. We're looking at a 4.2, and it's going to be steady. Not a lot of drop to it. Choctahatchee, same story with Choctahatchee. We're reading a 3.7, and it's in good, steady shape for the weekend. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent, Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Today is December the 10th, and we're looking at strong tides. We're looking at a low tide at 9:01 this morning and a high tide at 10:35 tonight. It's all incoming tide, and we're looking at some about a 2-foot range again. It's going to start tapering off a little bit for the weekend, but right now it looks pretty good. Marine forecast be northwest at about 5 to 10. Now it takes care of our outdoor weather. We're going to take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We had a special person just walked in the studio, so we're going to do this little segment here. We're going to get him to join us. He walked in unannounced, and we're going to have him get on the show. That's this was showing up. Let's take a look at this. And we're having the fly fishing, Bay County fly fishing meeting is Thursday night at Lake Huntington. Now they meet once a month, and this meeting they're going to talk about the winter patterns of speckled trout. And that's always interesting. They tie some great flies. If you're just getting into fly fishing or want to share some things, it's a great opportunity to meet with these fellows and girls. And let me show you where Lake Huntington is. A lot of people, I put on a map here. Lake Huntington. There are 3 lakes on the lower right-hand corner. You have let's see. Okay, Lake Huntington is on the top left-hand corner. That's in the upper part of St. Andrew. Right, come down south, you got Lake Ware, okay, right there on the left column. Then on the far right-hand corner, you have Lake Caroline, okay. Those 3 lakes sort of dot the St. Andrew area, and Lake Caroline has got a great history behind it. That's a Hintz family, one of the very early families that settled here from Jackson County, was named after Caroline Hintz. Of course, Lake Ware, right there in the middle of St. Andrew, was named after the Ware family, the first family to actually settle down and get started in St. Andrew, one of the first families in St. Andrew. And Lake Huntington, I don't know the history of the Huntington name, but I do know it's been there a very long time. The late Coach Richard Post used to tell us about swimming out there and getting oysters in it, and just stopping and walking over to the bank and eating them right there beside the water. So great history there, Lake Huntington. There's a little clubhouse there, and that's where they're going to be meeting Thursday night at 6:30, okay? Now, I also want to encourage you, when I'm setting up the other pictures, I want to encourage you to go ahead and send me pictures of what you consider some of the top shows this past year, top videos. I've got some good input on to get some lined up so we can show at the end of the year. And it really comes out real good. So if you can remember that far back, I know some of y'all can't remember what happened yesterday, but if you remember that far back, send us information on it, and we'll be glad to get it started. Okay, I got a whole list of pictures here I want to show, and we're going to get started on them. And I always love. We're talking about outdoor photography and just some great pictures, and we get a ton of sunset pictures. But every now and then, some of these just jump out at you. This is Panama City Beach Pier. And is that a beautiful sunset? This was taken last week, and Ray Wishart, my coworker Ray Wishart, has that picture there. All right, let's move on. This is some pictures right here. Bear Pate called a mess of brim. We need to go down there, Bill. I would also want to show you this. We're talking about fish structures last week, and we were talking about this is freshwater fish structures. This is made out of recycled line. Berkeley company, if you recycle your line and send a bunch of it to them, they'll take the line and recycle it, and they'll send it back to people. And we have actually 1 or 2 of these at Moe's Outdoor Ed. That's sort of what the fish structure that we were talking about last week looks like. Okay, let me get on over here to past the sunset. our buddy Tim Kahneman, surf fishing on the west end. Can you tell he's taking a selfie right there? Nice redfish. So Tim is a really good surf fisherman. This was Saturday morning. He caught it and didn't really want to. He just caught it and released it. He just wanted to catch it and didn't care anything about eating it. He just released it right there on the west end surf fishing. Good job, Tim Kahneman. All right. Okay, we had this video yesterday. This is Larry Moe and Curly at Stan Kirkland's retirement reception. Guess what? This is a true picture that was taken. This is a lionfish, but guess where it was taken? The Panama City beach jetties. We now have lionfish in the jetties. That's official word that we have them out there. This is Divers Den sent this over to us, and that's not good news there. All right, here the young man's been on before. He's a great outdoorsman for his age. This is his first deer. This is Evan Zachary. His first deer with a muzzle loader. Good job, Evan. I love to see these young people getting their game. All right, here's Clint Downs. This is I don't know if you recognize the pier. That's a Mexico Beach pier. And we've been talking about how good the Mexico Beach pier has been lately. So good job there. It's in the Panama City fishing. All right, here. First thing, this is a pretty redfish. This is a husband and wife out here fishing on the East Bay. And this is Ruth Berry. And guess what cap she has on? That pink Panhandle Outdoors cap. Brought her good luck because this nice redfish here, this is her husband, Philip. Now, which redfish you think is bigger? I think hers is bigger. Good job, Ruth and Philip Berry. All right. And every now you got to get a picture every now and then. The regular folks out there at the we know they're out there, but some folks get so excited when they see them. But this is Raccoon at the jetties, and I really made a good picture there. All right, Clay Bascom from this is Clay Patrick from Bascom on a nice duck hunt. He and his buddies up there in Jackson County. Good job, Clay. Let's see, and we'll move past that one, and this is the last one. This is Michael Coward. Okay, Mark's son Michael. We talked about him, had him on the show before, and just nice, just a good fisherman, excellent fisherman. That's a great father-son fishing team, and we'll try to get Michael to come on the show and talk about some of his secrets. Okay, that takes care of our pictures, and we've got some duck reports coming up. But right now, this past weekend, I talked to the guys that hunted locally, and they said it was real slow. Of course, Saturday morning, remember, it was real foggy, and I didn't hear a lot of shooting Saturday morning. Heard a little bit. Some of the guys went back Saturday afternoon and got a few, but the big flocks of ducks aren't in yet. So, but the migration is starting, going strong. Just hadn't been enough cold weather to push them on down here. All right, we're going to take a break, and bring in this guy just walked in the studio. I'll be right back. Welcome back, and this is an unplanned, unrehearsed event.
No kidding.
Look who just walked in the studio, knocking on the door out there. Jeff had to run out there during the break to get him, but good to see you,
hey,
buddy.
How are you doing? I was just delivering.
I know. He didn't come by to be on the show. He brought something for his wife, for my wife, basically. Yeah. And we just running errands for them.
Pretty much this time of year.
But anyway, we had to talk about fishing. I said, well, come on, buddy, because he just showed me a good picture. Tell me about your last fishing trip.
Well, Greg and I, Brudnicki, our esteemed mayor,
yeah.
We were able to sneak off last Thursday afternoon, and the absolutely beautiful day. Went out to Crooked Island, and the water temperatures dropped some, but I mean it's still not like we hadn't made a trip to Appalachia this year. I hadn't done that kind of thing. But so we basically started fishing the edges and around some holes and things like that. Probably started at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but mainly fishing gulp. Slow on the bottom, and I think we wound up catching 5 reds. We caught 4 or 5 flounder, and we're able to pick up a few trout. But I mean, they just weren't back in some of those areas, where they pushed back to yet. But it was a great afternoon. Beautiful.
Let's look at this picture. He got a picture to prove it now. Nobody can go fishing and send his report unless that is a nice redfish.
Yeah, that one, that was kind of that last cast of the day type thing. And you see how dark it is. Well, that fish is almost 29 inches.
Wow.
And I actually, kind of had my trout rod out, but thank goodness for Power Pro. We had a time with them. I mean, we had a time. We run us all over the boat, and picked up a grub, a shrimp, color.
What color we all fishing? The shrimp color or different?
Well, most of the day we had fished lighter colors. The water's just so beautiful. It looks like the Keys, you know. So we were fishing white, and I like to fish those little gulp with the chartreuse tails on them.
Yeah.
And I actually had one torn up, and it was so late that I had a little. It's kind of the color of this tape.
Uh-huh.
And I picked up a little swim bait like that and went ahead and put it on that jig head and started bouncing it around. You know, I didn't figure we had 10 or 15 more minutes. And that's what that big redfish jumped on.
You know, that's a good report. And like I say, this is all unrehearsed and unplanned. Bill just literally walked in a while ago. And, but it's great to get, on the spot reports like that. But one of the things I was going to talk about in this segment, and we'll go ahead and talk about it because we've talked about it on the boat before, is when a front, we know an approaching front is coming, and that barometer is starting to move around. That barometer starts dropping a little bit. How it affects the fish, and how it really gets them excited right before that front comes in.
It really does.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, it really does. It having the ability to look at the barometric pressure, it really does make a big difference. And you take that with your reports on the fishing times and things like that, it's amazing how those things go together so well. But yeah, anytime you've got a front coming, I mean, I guess they just naturally know with the change in the pressure that, their ability to feed for the next 2 or 3 days may be limited.
Well, that's exactly what it is. What happened, and I've read up on it, these biologists, and of course my best reports come from the old timers who told us that, and then us doing it ourselves. Just but scientifically, Bill, what they talk about is the bladder of the fish, and of course different species of fish have different sized bladders, but especially the redfish and speckled trout is really affected by the front. And then after that front comes in for a day or two, he's usually sort of slow because of the bluebird days and everything, and they say the bladder just sort of makes them uncomfortable because the high pressure moved in or low pressure is changing so fast, and then after a day or two after that, they get real hungry again. Yeah, that's what the scientists say, but we can prove that by just going out there.
Absolutely, that's the best way to prove it.
Yeah.
But and that's just one of the things that living in the area that we live, except for last year, we don't have these extreme temperatures that last for a long time. So it triggers all year long, even in the wintertime, it triggers these fish, off and on like that they're more predictable.
Yeah.
It's not like it gets 25 degrees and stays that way for 6 months, where that front just pushes it all down. It's just back and forth. Absolutely. I love it.
I know it, and we have the ability to take advantage of it if we get off work. And your boss lets you off work on occasion.
Yeah, he's been known to let me out once in a while.
For those of you who don't know, Bill is his own boss. So,
well, not if you talk to Donald.
Well, but we're talking about we got winter's coming on. Winter's right around the corner. In fact, December 22nd, the shortest day of the year, and winter's going to be here. And the winter fishing patterns. We've talked about it before. How we slow things down in our presentation, and you and I fish a lot in the winter.
Yes, we do. Listen. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
It's fun. We got to hit the Apalachicola River soon.
Yeah, the river is just in perfect condition.
Yeah.
As the water temperature drops a little bit, and it starts running the shrimp into the creeks and to the rivers, and those trout just are going to follow.
Yeah.
And these last several years we have gone over there and just worn out fish.
I know it,
and haven't made. And it's December. I don't even know what day it is. 9th.
Well, December 10th. Yep.
And we're not even. We haven't even gone yet.
No. That's why I called you the other day, find out when you're going
to
get off.
I haven't made a trip. I talked to Bill, and Greg's itching to go. But
yeah. Well, Christmas holidays, we'll get a little bit of time off. We're certainly going to go then. But
yeah. I think with the weather you've been talking about and what's coming on, we're going to need to next week sometime or shortly after head down that way and make a trip.
Man, well, it's a typical scenario between our two buddies that fish a lot. The ability to be able to get off and go when they're biting,
Yeah.
and that's and that happens all over the country. Just I can't go now. I got something to do. But but we talk about you don't know until you go.
Yeah, it's true.
But we've got some really good spots down there. We've had good luck on.
Yeah, and we've been talking about, and I'm still really looking forward to getting, you know, Mark and you and me and Greg and Bill and going down there and getting that one of those little
spend a weekend
cabins and spend a weekend fishing and eating.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, well, welcome back. So here we're my buddy Bill Allen, who wanted to be on the show so bad he was knocking on the door.
Came
in there.
That was it.
Okay, let's look at fishing game time for today. Part two about Mark Coward. Mark Coward, excellent red fisherman. You could attest to that, can't you?
Taught him everything you know.
Mark's number 832-6000. Our time today, 2:43 to 4:43 this morning. But this evening, we're looking at 3:06 to 5:06. And again, that's that window of time we talk about that, you know, a lot of people get off work a little bit early, 3:06, 5:06,
Yeah.
that's right before dark.
Yeah.
It's
Wonderful.
It's getting dark. And real quick, I remember last week, the tip of the day, my little things had broken off right here. And you can't see it because this line is hard to see. But I actually put on fishing line now. And we've talked about this before. So
let me tell you.
we're going to see my other that I bought for $10 lasted 3 months. Factory made things, real fancy, real stylish and all, lasted 3 months. So now this, I'm going to see if it lasts more than 3 months because this don't cost anything.
I tell you that's happened to me. I've got some cheap 50-pound eyeglass holders that aren't coming off there. I promise.
Yeah. Okay.
I promise.
We're going to Bill and I were trying to talk about something during the break that you would be interested in. We're going to show you some of the areas we fish during December and January and February during the cold weather months. And a lot of people, I got emails the other day for some folks who had moved down and sort of want to know some areas to go. And this is especially for you folks and all. We're going to start at a boat ramp and show you what boat ramp to go to. And this is over in Apalachicola now. And this is... I'm going to be zooming in. I'm going to try what I'm talking about now. I'm going to try to keep things, that's the city of Apalachicola, okay? So now we're going to go try to concentrate on the center of the screen. I'm going to go to this boat landing. And Bill, what's the name of our boat landing here?
It's Abercrombie.
Okay, go all the way down River Road. It's going to be right here in the center of the screen, right? See that little white spot? It's the end of the road.
It is the end of the road.
If you keep them going, then you're going to run into the Apalachicola River. That's the Apalachicola River, and the little bridge over to the right-hand side.
Yeah, you know, you turn there by where the international airport is there at Apalachicola and follow it on around and back to the left.
Okay, and that's right. So we put our boat in here, Bill, and we always go up under this trestle bridge. Always just get tickled going on the old railroad bridge, has fond memories. But right there in the center of the screen is a railroad trestle. Tell us about it. What can we catch there?
Well, it's you know, of course, it's inactive, but it's cool to see because it's one of those that rotated, you know, which doesn't. That's a dead line right there. But a lot of people will striper fish right there.
That's right.
Of course, you know, any bridge where you're gonna have that, you know, the structure like that and stuff on the bottom.
Good structure there.
And caught, you know, one or two nice flounder around there.
Believe it or not, we have. Okay.
You'll see a lot of people, you know, on the downside of that current fishing for those stripers.
And then we're just going to show you the myriad of different creeks and little rivers and all these areas in here. Some of the places we like to go. So,
well, to get to the way we do it is to go and it's actually on your GPS. Once you go under the bridge and you go down a good bit, there's a little crooked cut through there. It's called the Four Tree Cutoff.
Right there, yeah. Right there in the center, okay?
Yeah, and you want to be real careful with that. You know, it's got a steep curve in it. You know, most of the time there's plenty of water, but it's not something that you want to really go barreling through because you could come up on somebody in a heartbeat. Time to just enjoy the ride and make your way through.
That's right. Then we'll come out.
And, you know, then from there you can really go either way. We like to go left a lot and then head down towards Chipley Creek, and you headed down towards
okay, take a
Goat
left,
Island.
and then go right, and then go down. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you
right
just
down
follow that on around.
Follow that on around. But you can see, look at all the water all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
And all these little feeder creeks going to be holding some.
Well, you know, you just have to kind of search for them. But anywhere that you've got these smaller creeks coming in, like you said, you know, this bringing in the bait and moving it around and that kind of thing. But as you go out, you have to be kind of careful because those lighter areas are shallow.
Yeah, it looks deeper here, but they are shallow.
And you can be on the ground in a heartbeat. But, you know, those mouths, and there's just, I don't know how many there are. There's dozens of them up there. But as it gets colder, the shrimp start to move.
Yeah,
Up into the river, up into the fresh water, into the rivers.
And here's a big wide came out now. So here, Apalachicola is on the left, East Point's on the right. So you're looking down. That's a bridge across there. So you're looking down the area. If you're looking on a plane and all, that's how it would be. And like Bill said, you got to just get out there and just work your way around. But that's basically the route that we do all of our winter fishing on.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And
And
like I say, the
you have
shrimp.
to search. You have to search for them a little bit. So.
Yeah, and we do some trolling.
Absolutely, it's a blast.
Yeah, and the people ask me, we just troll a little bit and try to get in those little channels on the edge of the channels. And,
And, swim baits, those double tail grubs.
Yeah.
Anything that puts a lot of vibration in the water. And hey, chartreuse head with a root beer color. If you could only take one thing over there,
yeah,
you could take that. It's not that we catch them on a lot of different things that we troll, but. It's a blast. And then we've all hooked up at one time and just stopped and started casting and don't do that much.
Yeah.
So there's something about the motion, but it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. It's odd. We talked about that before, and it's great. Every now and then you're gonna catch a bass.
Yeah.
You don't tell what you're gonna catch.
Well, redfish, we pull redfish out of there, and stripers, and there's one particular tree that you hook every time we come by.
I
in
love
one
that
place.
tree.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, before you know it, you look in there, and we release most of our fish. We keep some if we're hungry, and before we know it, we got a mess of fish.
All the redfish, but trout that
trout,
time of year, and you
they're
get
good.
some stud trout in there.
You made me want to go. You got to go work today?
For a little bit, but I will have to.
I've got 3 or 4 things I have to do. I got to run. Bill, I'm glad you dropped in, bud.
Well, no problem. No problem.
Well, we're going fishing soon, and we'll shoot some video and talk about it. And great to have you coming on.
Hey, my pleasure. Always.
Drop in some more.
Always.
And thanks for bringing that package.
Yeah.
All right, folks. As always, we appreciate you watching the Panhandle Outdoor Show. We bring it to you as best we can, and we appreciate the viewership. So you do something good for someone else today. Have a great day, and God bless.
God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.